Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey, everybody. It is Tom Foster on the World of Marketing. And I have got my buddy for years and years and years, Brenda Geiger. Brenda, thank you so much for being a guest on the World of Marketing. It is a long time coming. I've been chasing you for a long time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming. You are a busy lady. Isn't that true? You are a very busy lady.
No, I'm not busy at all.
You are.
I'm actually on the soccer field most of the time these days. So
Oh, really?
working from the soccer field.
That's good. You've grown your trust in estate planning business, your trust in estate planning to the Affluent business out in San Diego, California. And how long have you been practicing law?
I think 18 years.
18 years. And when did we meet, Brenda?
I think we met in Los Angeles when you came out for the Great Legal Marketing, some kind of a workshop that you did maybe for a day or two. I don't remember exactly when it was, maybe 2010, 2008.
It was 2008. You're right.
Okay, it was 2008. Okay.
2008. And we met in 2008. And I was out there with my good friend, Ben Glass. And you're right. We did a one-day workshop. Ben and I did. And you were out there and you were just kind of getting just started, weren't you?
Yeah, I graduated in 04, and then I actually started my practice in 07. So I was still kind of in the beginning stages of my practice, even though I had been practicing estate planning for a few years. It just was for other law firms. So yeah, I kind of didn't know what I didn't know, and I got a great start, with what you and Ben were teaching to try to get things going. So
well, let's back up though, because I love women entrepreneurs. Women run my company. So I just love it that you've been so successful. But let's back up to your inspiration, to your motivation, to when you were a kid and you're like decided to become a lawyer. What inspired you to become a lawyer in the first place?
Well, I think I know when I was a teenager, it sounds cliche, but I think a lot of times I had family members and friends saying, well, you like to argue both sides of different, arguments. So I think that's probably where I kind of got that first kind of, maybe I'll go to law school, but I actually was going to become a psychologist. So I was all set. I went to the University of San Diego and I got a psychology degree. And about maybe in my third year, I decided, instead of taking electives like a minor, I'm going to do paralegal studies and get out there and work for a little bit and see if I like the law before I invest all that time, effort, and money, because it is expensive and it's only getting more expensive as we go.
What made you think of the law?
I think I took a business law class, and I don't know if it was the DuPont case or there was one of these cases.
Something piqued your interest there.
Yeah, it was like aerial espionage, like business espionage. I'm like,
cool.
This is kind of fascinating. They were flying overhead over this plant and kind of taking pictures and trying to reverse engineer what this plant was doing or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
So it was a big litigation case. But I thought, this is kind of fascinating. So I thought maybe I would become a business law attorney. And then when I did actually go to law school, I was working for a biotech company at the time, and I was going to be their business in-house counsel, but they had 3 rounds of layoffs and I was part of the 3rd round. So here I was, just gotten my newly minted bar degree, was just gotten married, just bought our first house, and I was pregnant all at the same time, and I got my pink slip. So I didn't know exactly what I was going to be doing. And I had two new German Shepherd dogs at home. So a lot of going on.
How old were you now?
I think I was probably 32, 33.
Okay.
So I waited a little bit longer to get my law degree. I think I started law school when I was 29, and I did like an evening program so I could work during the day.
And what were you doing? What were you working during the day?
So I worked at that biotech company for about 5 years. So I started working there before law school. And
so you were working during the day and going to law school at night.
Yep.
That's an important point. That is not easy to do.
Yeah, looking back, I mean, I couldn't do it now, but looking back,
wow, good for you. I did not know that either, Brenda. Good for you. That is not easy to do. That is tough. How long did that take you? 5 years?
Well, I was in law school for 4 years. Normally it's 3 years, but I did the 4-year program. And I had a really great boss. He's actually a friend. Before I went to law school, I worked for a big law firm that did intellectual property, and he was a friend of mine there. And when he left, that's kind of where I got recruited in. And he was so flexible with me. He let me take daytime classes if I wanted, but I didn't do a lot of that. But if there was a class I wanted to take during the day, he let me do that. I even wrote a bar review article that got published in the International Law Journal for my law school, which was a huge, huge deal. And it took a year to write. And he was really flexible with letting me even work on that at work, just as long as I got my work done.
Great.
Which, looking back,
that's a good boss to have.
Yeah. Aren't too many bosses that would be so
no
flexible.
kidding. You're right about that. There's not too many bosses that would do it, that would allow you to do it and then lose you to, off to law. And here you are. And then so you get the pink slip. You're 32. You have 2 kids.
No, I didn't have any kids at that point. I was just pregnant.
Oh, you're pregnant. Okay. So
I was
you're
pregnant with my first one.
Kids are coming.
Yeah.
And you got the 2 dogs, and you're married, a house, mortgage. Wow, I don't have a job now. What do I do? So you're like, oh, I think I'll start my own practice. That's what you thought?
No, actually it was my husband. He, after a couple of months of not knowing what I was doing except for going to lawyers club meetings and stuff like that. I met some people there, and I was looking at being a business law attorney, but one of the women I met there was going into estate planning. And I thought, well, that sounds kind of interesting. So I kind of did a little research on it, and I thought there'd be a wider net of clients that would need my help. I could still do the business law stuff too, since I knew how to do it. And I knew how to do the intellectual property law stuff. So I said something to my husband, and my husband goes, well, why don't you just start your own practice? Like, it was almost like, because he was a business owner. So he's just like, duh.
Yeah, he's a tech guy, right? He's does tech stuff.
He had a tech company, and he sold that almost 8-9 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
But he's in the coffee industry now, coffee roasting. But yeah, he's the one that kind of pushed me off.
He pushed you into it. That's fantastic. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. Okay, so he says, do it. And you said, okay, I'll go do this thing. And you set out to do it. And so that's when you when you did some research and you found Ben Glass and Great Legal Marketing and Foster Web Marketing and us.
Yep.
Wow. Bang. Well, we've done, Ben's been on web podcast before, so of course. And, we love having Ben on the podcast.
He's brilliant. He really is.
Ben is brilliant. And, he's helped thousands and thousands of lawyers just like you start from scratch from where you are. And you implemented many of the systems that you learned at that workshop over the years and at Great Legal Marketing. And okay, but let's back up again before I get too far down the road, because there's a lot of things I want to cover. You didn't get started with us right away. It took a little while to sign on with us. You did it the hard way for a bit before you got going with us, right?
Yeah, I think, in the beginning, it just,
you just couldn't afford
trying to get to that critical mass. Of,
yeah.
where I could afford to.
But then
come
once
on
you
board.
did, now it's great. So,
Yep.
and it's been, 10 years.
Yeah. And I love that you guys, anytime we need something, we just say, hey, can you do this? And you're like, yep, we can do it.
Yeah, and we appreciate being, that relationship that we have, because that's what it is. It's a partnership. We've got to do our job for you, and make sure that these things happen for your website. And you do a lot of things. You do a lot of cool things, and that's one of the things everybody that Brenda does. Brenda's a brilliant marketer, and she's done things over the years that have been brilliant, and have just her own ideas, her own marketing campaigns that have required, and she's done her own print stuff and done her own direct mail and all those things, but it required a partner on the website to be able to create the landing pages and all the campaign sequences and all the emails and all those pieces. And obviously she needed somebody that knew how to do that. And we helped build that for you and continue to do that. That's ongoing. And
I think the most
great.
recent, you just got put together on our homepage. We have a master class that we're moving some Facebook ads to. And you guys built that out for us. And
yeah, that's great. And we were talking before I hit record about the book with Dave Fries, my buddy, our friend, our mentor, Dave Fries, I've had him on the podcast multiple times. And we'll have him again. I mean, Dave is the marketing Mensa. And we're in business black ops with Dave, although I missed you. We missed you this year. You were.
Yeah, I know.
You were missed. Everybody missed you.
I missed you guys. Yeah.
You were, yes. But you won't be missed next year because you'll be there.
Yep.
And that book is called The Estate Planning Secrets of the Affluent.
Yeah. We've got, we're in our second edition, but we're in the process of writing it right now. Yeah. Because the estate tax laws change and
sure
have to update that. So we're going to do a 2023 rollout.
So see, everybody, this is what's so cool about this is that, so Brenda started out, I'm going to go be a lawyer, and goes and gets a job as a lawyer in a law firm, gets canned, and, but smart lady, starts her own law firm, smart husband who says, go do it, and supports you. That was great and is great. And the fact that I love what you have chosen as your practice focus, which is trust and estate to the affluent, which is Dave Fries, what Dave Fries does. And so that's a very specific niche of clients and requires a very specific style of marketing and voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of the things, we're a little bit different in the sense that we have a couple of lawyers in the practice and we have different subsets of the business. So how we market has to match that general. So we have like kind of basic,
so do you have the whole thing covered?
Yeah, so we do kind of basic to mid-level estate planning.
Okay.
More what my associates do, and I do more of like
you do the
they reserve me back for like maybe 15% of the caseload. So I'm mainly running the practice at this point, and doing those more complex cases or those higher net worth type cases.
But you didn't start out that way. You built that up.
I did. Yeah, exactly.
You built the practice to be what you wanted it to be.
Yes.
And you built in all those processes over the years. I mean, like you and I have been friends for a long time. We've had a lot of discussions, and I've known about a lot of your frustrations. Both of us have shared, and both of us have had frustrations in dealing with staff issues and problems with business. And but you've gotten it, and you survived all that. That's normal business stuff. I say that to everybody. Hey, it's normal, right? I mean, right, Brenda? I mean, like, and you are involved. We mentioned Business Black Ops. We mentioned Great Legal Marketing, but you're also involved in Atticus.
Yes.
Which is a great group. And we were just at the show. I regret I was not there, but Chad was there and Jessica was there, and they said it was a great time. And
yeah,
I'm going to be there next time.
Yeah, you should come for sure. It's Atticus Advantage is a coaching company that I've been a member of for years and still am as a member. But I also now coach for them as an adjunct practice advisor. So I do online group coaching with another lawyer that's in Chicago. And then I have my own individual clients that I.
Who's that lawyer?
That Mark Metzger.
Mark Metzger.
Metzger.
Metzter.
Metzger.
Okay, Metzger. Got it.
Yeah, he's probably on the Atticus Advantage website too, so that's probably the easiest way to find him.
Great. But, and you guys do dual coaching?
Yeah, we have, we call it our PGP, practice growth group that we do. He does several of them. I think one of them he does, it's kind of a larger one in person. But when the pandemic hit, they shifted to doing online. So he and I have the group that's online.
How big is the group?
Our particular group is probably about 25 lawyers. I think his in-person one, his big one, probably has more like 50 to 70.
Oh, cool. And is it monthly meetings?
Yeah, so that's the basic level one. And then the Dominate Your Market program is the one that both Mark and I are members of. That is much larger, and we meet in Orlando 4 times a year. And then you're talking about the summit, which is what you were at November, or you weren't. I'm sorry, Chad was at in November, and that is all the groups coming together. So there's usually like probably 300 lawyers at that one once a year. But the in-person DYMs, I think there's probably about 100 of us in that group.
Well, we want to get, we're all in, Brenda, want to get more involved and be a great partner of Atticus. FWM does. So
yeah, so that's business coaching. That's
that's me speaking selfishly, but I'm glad that you're getting a lot out of that group, and look at what it's done for your business. So you say that you're like, you've arrived?
Well, I mean,
in many respects,
I think I'm at a stable point where we're still growing,
right?
And which is a great place to be. But it feels stable. Like It doesn't feel like in the earlier years where it was just kind of the roller coaster ride that because now we just get to a point where we kind of figure out what tried and true things work, not just with marketing, but with business, the business development side. With managing a team, with managing the books, managing everything else that goes on in the practice, just doing like best in class of everything. That's really where I try to focus on.
And how do you do that?
Well, I think for me, the biggest thing is by becoming a coach, you can't coach what you don't do. So if I'm not in lockstep with doing exactly what I'm teaching, it's kind of like a mechanism to force you to really know it and be good at it.
I agree with that 100%. I feel the same way. The same way. Yes.
You got to do it as well as preach it. So that helps us keep that. And I think one of the overlooked things too that a lot of lawyers maybe don't focus on as much is really tending to your team. Because if you have a really good team, it's a force multiplier, and Dave would probably say this too. It's a force multiplier to everything else in your business. I'll give you just a concrete example is like we set up a competition or like an incentive in our practice that by November 30th, we'd hit a certain revenue target and we'd have a certain number of reviews on Yelp and Google. And so this is something my team got behind and we've been working on for months. And it was a week off. Everybody got an extra week off whenever they wanted to take it, in addition to what they normally have. And, everybody was excited by this challenge. I mean, it could be anything, it could be money, it could be a trip somewhere, it could be any number of things that you could set up as the thing. But just doing things that that your team would like and rewarding them, not just monetarily, but, time off, with praise, with just, if they want to get extra education, just things for their own development.
Right.
You start to become
take care of your people.
Yeah, it's like a business family, and all
right.
of that. Trying to do the reviews. Obviously, you're not going to ask somebody. If you're not going to do a good job for somebody, you're not going to ask them for a review, right? So it's kind of like it makes everybody focus on that really great client service. Not that they wouldn't anyways, but it's like hyper focuses it.
Would you say that's the secret?
I think so. I really do. I think the team is the secret to it. I mean, you've got
tending to your team is what you said, and it's your business family. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that is why I'm successful too. It is not because of any brilliance on my account whatsoever. It is truly because I treat people right. And I believe in my team once I get them going, and it's all about getting the right people. It's all about getting the right people. Speaking of getting the right people, I'll do a plug for my buddy, Jay Henderson, right? Our buddy, Jay Henderson. We don't hire anybody without getting a J test, do we, Brenda? Right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And disc profile. I'm a big fan of the disc profile.
That's right. You got to get the profile from Jay.
I do both. Yeah.
Well, you're on it. So you got your processes down. And Brenda, I can't thank you enough for being a client for all these years. And of course, my friend, that's even better. And, your friendship is invaluable. And I just love that how you've grown. You're so strong, and you're such a fighter. I've known all the things that you've shared with me that you fought through, and there's been significant challenges that you've faced. Mm-hmm. And you've done it all, and you're a doer. That's the other thing about you is that you get things done, and you don't sit around and I love the other thing that you talked about because you're coaching, that forces you to do it yourself. Otherwise, you're an imposter. You're living a lie. You're telling a lie, and a lot of coaches out there do that. Yeah. And I can't live with myself either. I'm with you on that. Well, Brenda, thank you so much for being on the show today.
My pleasure. I'm so glad you had me on.
I'm so glad you were here. Everybody, Tom Foster and the lovely Brenda Geiger on the World of Marketing. We will check in with you again soon. Oh, if you are interested, or if you're frustrated with your web experience and you're looking for a web provider to help you, or a partner like Brenda has with us, then just go to FWM Analysis, and that's how you get an analysis going with Foster Web Marketing and start the relationship with us. That's the easiest way to do it, or just send an email to Tom at Foster Web Marketing, whatever you want to do, whatever's easier. All right, everybody. Brenda, thank you so much again. I will see you soon. I will talk to you soon. if I don't talk to you before, you have yourself a wonderful holiday. Okay. And say hello to the family and thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
You take care.